DeepSeek R1 is here. It's crushing ChatGPT, and it's letting regular people like us automate everything without breaking the bank. I've been messing with it myself, and honestly, it's kind of ridiculous how much it can do if you set it up right. In this video, I'm going to take you through exactly how I've been using DeepSeek R1 to automate things in my own day-to-day, emails, schedules, even pumping out content using tools like N8N, Zapier, and Make. You'll see every step I took, why I did it that way, and how it saved me hours of staring at a screen. I've been down the rabbit hole on this one, tweaking workflows and testing connections, so you don't have to guess what works. I've linked all helpful tools and resources in the description below, so check those out. Step 1. Understanding DeepSeek. R1 and automation. DeepSeek R1 is this open-source AI model that dropped in January 2025 from a company called DeepSeek. DeepSeek R1 is built to think hard, reasoning, coding, writing, and it's free to use through certain platforms, which is why I got hooked. Automation to me is about cutting out the slog. Why spend 20 minutes drafting emails when something can do it in seconds? This tool lets you hand off those repetitive tasks, and it plays nice with platforms I already use. N8N for custom workflows, Zapier for quick fixes, and Make when I'm trying to keep costs low. I'll show you how I wired it up on each one. Step 2. Setting up DeepSeek R1 with N8N for AI agents. First, I tackled N8N because I wanted something I could tweak to death. N8N is this open source platform where you can build workflows, like little digital machines that run tasks for you. I use it to make AI agents, which are essentially mini assistants powered by DeepSeek R1. Here's how I set it up. I went to n8n.io and signed up for a free account. It's pretty straightforward. You just need an email, and you're in. Once I was logged in, I created a new workspace, which is just a blank slate to organize my projects. I called it DeepSeek Experiments because I'm not fancy. Now the workflow part. I started by adding a chat trigger. Think of this as the button that starts everything. Someone types a message and the automation kicks off. In N8N, you drag this little box onto the canvas and it's ready to listen. Then I added an AI agent node right after it. This is where DeepSeek R1 lives. It's the brain of the operation. To connect it, I used OpenRouter, which is this middleman service that links up AI models like DeepSeek R1 so you don't have to run them on your own computer. I headed to openrouter.ai, signed up there too, and grabbed an API key. It's free for light use, which is plenty for testing, and they give you the key right in your account dashboard. Back in N8N, I clicked on the AI agent node and set up a new credential. I picked the OpenAI API option because OpenRouter mimics that setup, which helps keep things compatible. I pasted in my OpenRouter API key, then set the base URL to this. This tells N8N where to send the requests. For the model, I clicked Expression and typed this in. It's case sensitive, so I double-checked it. Once I saved it, the agent was linked to DeepSeek R1. To test it, I typed a simple message into the chat trigger, like, summarize my last email, and hit run. A few seconds later, DeepSeek R1 spat out a response. It wasn't perfect, but it worked, and I could see it thinking through the task. I went to OpenRouter's activity log after to make sure it was actually using DeepSeek R1. Sure enough, there it was, with a cost of about 0.002 cents. That's nothing, less than a penny to handle something I'd spend minutes on. I sat there for a second, realizing this could change how I handle half my inbox. Step 3. Speeding up automation. DeepSeek R1 is powerful, but it's massive, 671 billion parameters, so it can lag a bit. They've got this distilled version called DeepSeek R1 Distill Llama 70B, which is smaller, faster, and still sharp. I went back to my N8N workflow, opened the AI agent settings, and swapped the model. Instead of this model, I typed this in. I saved it, ran the same test, and the response came back quicker, maybe 30% faster, which adds up when you're doing a bunch of tasks. I checked Open Router again, and the cost was still dirt cheap. That's when I knew I could scale this without sweating the bill. Then I thought, why stop at chat? Step 4. Connecting apps for advanced automation. I wanted DeepSeek R1 to talk to my apps. I use Gmail a lot, so I figured I'd start there. In N8N, I added a Gmail node after my AI agent. You drag it onto the canvas, connect it to the agent with a line, and click to set it up. I made new credentials by signing into my Google account through N8N's pop-up. It handles all the permission stuff for you. I picked messages so it could read my emails, then set the operation to get many. This pulls a batch of emails at once. I limited it to 10 because too many slow things down, and I'm not trying to crash my laptop. Here's where it gets useful. I tweaked the AI agent's prompt to say, read these emails and draft a short reply for each one. When I ran the workflow, it grabbed 10 emails. DeepSeek R1 wrote replies, like, thanks for the update, I'll get back to you by Friday, and I added another Gmail node to send them. I tested it with some old messages first, and it worked. Not every reply was spot on, but it was close enough that I could edit them in 2 minutes instead of writing them from scratch in 20. I've done this a few times now, and it's cut my email time in half. You could do the same with Google Calendar or Airtable. N8N lets you plug in whatever you use. Step 5. Automating with Zapier. Next, I tried Zapier because sometimes I don't want to build everything from scratch. Zapier's more plug and play, which is nice when I'm lazy. I've got this app called Fathom that transcribes my Zoom meetings, so I wanted DeepSeek R1 to turn those into emails. I logged into Zapier.com, started a new Zap, and set Fathom as the trigger. When a meeting ends, Fathom sends the transcript over. Then I added an Open Router action. I used the same API key from before, picked DeepSeek R1 as the model, and wrote a prompt. Take this transcript and write a follow-up email with key points. I connected it to Gmail as the next step, mapping the AI output to the email body. I tested it with a 15-minute meeting transcript I had lying around. DeepSeek R1 pulled out 3 main takeaways and drafted an email in about 40 seconds. It wasn't poetic, but it was clear. Like something I'd write if I wasn't half asleep. Zapier's dead simple compared to N8N, but you can't tweak it as much. Still, for quick tasks like this, it's solid. I've run it a few times now, and it's handy when I'm juggling calls all day. Step 6. Automating with Make. Make does the same kind of automation, but with lower fees and more flexibility. I wanted to auto-post content to my WordPress blog, so I started a new scenario in Make. I added Google Sheets first. I keep a list of keywords there. I set it to pull 1 keyword per run. Then I added an Open Router module, plugged in my API key, and picked DeepSeek R1 Distill. I used dynamic fields to feed the keyword into the prompt. Write a 400-word blog post about this keyword. After that, I added a WordPress module. I logged into my site through Make, gave it the credentials, and set it to publish the AI's output as a new post. I ran it with productivity tips, and in a couple minutes I had a draft live on my blog. It wasn't perfect, it needed some formatting, but it was 90% done. I checked Open Router's usage and it cost me peanuts. 4 posts later, I'd spent less than a dime, makes cheaper than Zapier, and still gets the job done, which is why I keep coming back to it. I've been using these setups for a few weeks now, and they're not magic. You've got to play with them. Test what works for you. Start with something small. If you have any questions or want to get into even more specifics, click the link in the description to join our free school community. Inside YouTube Profit Academy, we share exclusive tips and updates on content creation, YouTube automation, affiliate marketing, running online businesses, and much more. It's completely free, so be sure to join using the link in the description, and I'll see you inside. What would be helpful for you to automate in your day-to-day life? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons while you're there.